Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss. I have little Rose here with me today, and we are going to do part 2 of our exploration of Posca products. We all know and love their Posca paint pens. They are a staple in most people's art studios. But did you know that they have Posca Pencils? We talked about these pencils last week here on our channel, and it was a lot of fun, and I discovered that they are a hidden treasure. They are something that I am really excited to use more in my art studio, and I think that everyone would really love them. At least I hope you would love them as much as I did. Check out last week's video to learn more about the pencils, but today we're here to talk about Posca Pastel. Now, that's not just like talking about the colors, like light pinks and baby yellows and blues. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an actual pastel product. But what kind of pastel products? When you think about pastels, at least when I think about them, there's all different kinds of pastels. There are oil pastels, soft pastels, hard pastels, water-soluble pastels, and even crayons can be considered a pastel. So what kind of product are we getting ourselves into here? I checked their website, read all up on them, and I'm still very confused as to what I have in my hand here. So the very first thing we're going to do is unbox these pastels and get a good look at them, and then we're going to swatch them to get our first taste of what kind of product it is, and then we're going to play around with them and see how they blend and what they do when you hit them with odorless mineral spirits and water. I want to know all about this new product so I can tell you whether I think it's something you should purchase or pass on. So let's start by unboxing the Posca Pastel. Okay, in front of me I have the Posca Pencils, and here are, actually it's Posca Pencil, singular, and Posca Pastel, singular is the names. And as you can see, they have the same kind of feel and look and the same kind of packaging, which last week I talked about how much I dislike this kind of plastic, but then we get inside and look how pretty that box is. That is a good looking package. And it also comes with the elastic band just like the Posca Pencil did. So I think the idea is when you're not using them and you're storing them and you don't want the different trays to come apart, then you use the elastic. So again, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this idea. They come apart into 2 trays. We have 24 pretty colors here. The back of the box says, smooth and soft drying experience, sharp line without any stickiness. Allows for a wide range of color expression from light pale to deep dark effects. Draws on almost any surface, which I thought was really interesting. It says you can do paper, glass, metal, plastic, wood, etc. Easy color blending and light resistant. So sounds really good. Let's see here what we can see by looking at one of these. It feels just like holding it's almost more narrow of a pencil. It feels very thin in my hand. And you can see we have the product here coming out the end, and then a plastic, or not plastic, paper wrapper around it. And the paper, if you can see, is scored, so it's easier to peel off in sections as you work with it. And then right here it has the color name and number. So this is pink number 13. It says it's made in Japan. And then the number is repeated here on the paper at the very end. So as you peel it off, the very last thing you'll peel off is the number identifying the product in your hand. Now I checked and I couldn't find them being sold open stock. So I think the only way to get them is in a set like this. Now the price for the pastels for 24 set as of October in Amazon in the US, the cost is $36.73. So a little more than $1 per stick of color here. and we get a nice wide array. What do you think of the colors we're given? I'm going to swatch them and we'll see if we feel like there's a good balance of colors, but we have a gray and a black and we have a white, so, and then lots of colors, yellow, orange, reds. We even have a good violet. We didn't have a really good violet in the pencils, so I was curious to see if that would be an issue here, but it looks like we've got a good violet, some blues. I'm just really curious to see what these feel like when I swatch them, so let's go ahead and do that. I have 3 swatch books because I want to see how opaque they are, how they perform on white paper, black paper, and tan paper. So I have all 3 swatch books here. If you're interested in a swatch book, check out the link in the video description below, and you can come to our website and purchase one of these really great swatch books. This one is my swatch book printed on our mixed media paper, so it should be robust enough for these, whatever they are, these pastel pencils or crayons. We're going to find out what they are right now. So let's start by doing some swatching on white, and then we'll do it on black and tan. With its long and fine body, Posca Pastel is used like a pencil. Ergonomic, it has a natural grip which guarantees great ease of use, even during intense creative sessions. Just as easy when coloring in as when doing detailed work, it's easy to sharpen, so you can keep a thin tip for clean and precise lines. Posca Pastel enables you to explore numerous creative techniques like shading, scratching, or smoothing. It's also particularly effective for contrasting effects or when mixing colors. It's even pliable under heat to create textured effects for a unique result. Okay, before we talk about what these pastels are, at least what I think they are, I was noticing that the color numbers matched from the pencils to the pastels. So I think there's a color system going on here, and it made me wonder if the Posca paint pens were part of that color system. So like this is light blue, and it has a 8 right here, and that one is 8. The yellow is a number 2 up here. Let me bring that down a bit so you can see. There's a number 2 up here, and that has yellow with a 2. Let's see this green. This is light green. It has a 5. Do we have a 5? Yeah, right here, a 5, which is a light green. I think we have a color system. Violet 12, red 15, red 15. So that's really cool. I didn't expect there to be a color system between the different Posca products. Orange 4, orange 4. That one's not got a 4. But yeah, I think we have a color system. That's kind of cool. I didn't expect that at all. All right, so let's talk about what the Posca pastels are. To me, they feel like a crayon at this point, like a hard, waxy, oily crayon. We need to hit it with water and try some of the other blending techniques, but they're giving me the same feeling as the Caran Neocolor 1 and 2, that same kind of crayon type feeling. Let me show you the Caran products really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here I have my Caran Neocolor 1, and that is a waxy, water-resistant pastel. So it's a crayon, basically. It looks like this. This is my little set here that I carry around with me. And they're great for really vivid color that you don't want to budge in a mixed media situation. You just want it to be permanent. That's what the Neocolor 1 product is. And then this is my set of Neocolor 2. I have the full set because I love these so much. They work just like a crayon, except when you hit them with water, the binders relax and the pigments come out and they make beautiful painting effects. So they're really neat. This has 2 trays. like that. So it has lots of colors, this set here. So I need to look up the prices, because if they are like a Caran Neocolor II, which means they're water soluble, which is what we read when we were swatching. We read all about how they're supposed to be water soluble. So that'll be really cool if they're a similar product to the Caran Neocolor IIs. Okay, I've been doing a little bit more research and I'm getting a little more confused as I go. I checked to see on Dick Blick if they had the Posca Pastels, and they do. Just one set just like this, and it's about the same cost as what I got mine on Amazon for $36 and some change. That means that per stick of color, it costs $1.53. So then I checked to see how much the Neocolor IIs are, and they are $46 for a pack of 30, which brings it in at about $1.53 per stick. So they're about the same cost, and I think they are very similar in size as well. Let me see if I compare the two. Grab this one. They are a little bit longer, but they're thinner, they're skinnier. So I would say they're pretty equal in the amount of product you get in the two. Now, when I was reading on Dick Blick about the Posca Pastels, it's talking about them being non-water soluble, so that would make them more like the Neocolor ones, not the Neocolor IIs. It says, mess-free and comfortable to hold, these soft-touch wax pastels are highly opaque, water-resistant, and erasable on non-porous surfaces, so like ceramic or rock. It would be erasable. So that's different. And I'm pretty sure we're looking at exactly the same product. They look the same. Wax Pastels set of 24. I think it's the same. So I'm a little bit confused. Are they water soluble or are they not? Are they like the Neocolor ones or are they like the Neocolor IIs? But let's start by looking at the swatches, because that will let us know just how opaque they are. So here's our line here. I don't know if you can see that line. Let me darken it up just a little bit, but right here is where we start our pastel colors, and they are really pretty. Let me slide this over just a little bit so you can see both sets. I think they're gorgeous. Look how bright and vivid they are on white. Very pretty. I wish, because it's such a small set of 24, I don't think we need these two reds. They're awfully close to each other, so I would have done something different there. And same with the sky blue and the light blue. I would have traded out for a different color for there as well. Other than that, I feel like we've got a good light, medium, and dark here to play around with skin tones. This dark brown is really an interesting color, very dark, so you could do some interesting things there. They even supplied a gray. So I'm feeling really good about the colors, except for those two spots in the reds and in the light blues. I think they could have done something a little different. But they're very opaque. I like how they are sort of the same color system as the Posca pencils, so you could probably use them together. That's really exciting, but I have more questions now. Are they water soluble or not? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, I've got my watercolor sketchbook here that I like to play with. It's by Arteza. I like the big pages, and this book will be a good one to work in. The pages are nice and robust, so we can try some different things. The very first thing I want to try is to find out if they're water soluble. So let me set up a few swatches here, and we'll give it a test. All right, here goes the yellow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That one is not water soluble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are not water soluble. I need to go back onto Posca's website and see if I read wrong, because I was sure that it said they were water soluble. So this makes them more like the Caran Neocolor I line. Yep, none of them are water soluble. Okay, let's check now to see if they are soluble from a solvent like odorless mineral spirits. Okay, I have 4 little swatches here ready, and I've got my Gamsol, which is the brand of odorless mineral spirits that I own currently, but there's lots of different brands of odorless mineral spirits. And remember to do your health and safety checks when you're doing your Gamsol, because it is quite toxic. So don't use it in an area that doesn't have ventilation, and you don't want to use it around children. This is a serious art supply, but it's definitely, we can activate these with the solvent, which doesn't surprise me. One more color here to make sure, but we have good activation. That one activated really good, that orange. It does leave behind some staining on the paper from where I did the lines, but it works. We have solubility with OMS, so that's not too surprising, but this is still surprising to me. Let me check their website and see if I just read it wrong. Okay, so I went and checked on their website and on Amazon and on Dick Blick to see if I read it somewhere and maybe it was a mistake by the marketing company. I don't know, but I couldn't find anywhere where it says it's water soluble. The only thing I read was that it's soluble using a solvent, which is what we just proved with the odorless mineral spirits. I also went and checked on Dick Blick to see what the cost of Neocolor IIs and 1s are compared to each other, so that I can see if they're about the same. But Neocolor 1s are actually more expensive. For a pack of 30, it's about $58, which is $1.93 per crayon, which that makes these crayons, the Poscas, which I think are a dupe for the Neocolor ones, are less money. They come in at about $1.53 per stick. So my set of 24 that I purchased was only $36.73. So it's cheaper to get into the Posca Pastels than it is to get into the Caran Neocolor ones. But remember that these Posca Pastels are not open stock. So if you need a product that you can replace just one color in the set, then you'll want to go towards the Caran Neocolor ones. All right, let's play around some more with some blending, see if we can blend with our fingers. Do we have to use tools? Let's see what these crayons can do for us. Alright, I've done some experimenting here. I did Jennifer's rule of blending thirds, which can bring together 3 colors really pretty in almost any art medium that you use. So here we did it with these pastels, and they came together really pretty. Here I tried blending or rubbing and smearing with my finger. That didn't work really great. I blended with petroleum. I got a little bit more action going on. I used Aquaphor for my petroleum product. And this was pre-treated paper with the petroleum, and this was introducing the petroleum after coloring. Here I was just trying some flicks and some expressive strokes to see what it could do, and then I tried a 2-color scribble blend. And it worked, I don't know. And then here I tried the 2-color blend with odorless mineral spirits to try to create that green in the center. Here without the odorless mineral spirits, and here with the odorless mineral spirits. So that was an interesting experiment too. So what I have found is that they are a crayon, a high-end artist grade crayon like the Caran Neocolor ones. They would be great for water-resistant mixed media type art projects. For instance, maybe you want to color an image for a card or on a coloring page, and you don't want the color to bleed or move, so that you can add a watercolor background. This product would work great. You could color up those flowers and then hit it with water, and those flowers would not budge at all, and you would have a really good experience that way. So, would I recommend the Posca Pastel product to all of you? I think my feelings are that if you already have the Neocolor ones by Caran, you don't need these. There's more colors. I feel like these sticks, because they're thinner, they feel like they will snap easier within my hand as I'm working with them. So they're making me pretty nervous. I can't grip them as securely as I would like to, because I'm worried I'm just going to snap them with my fingers. Where the Caran Neocolor ones are a thicker, chunkier crayon, much more like a Crayola type shape. So they feel more robust in my hand. So if you already have those Neocolor ones, you don't need the Poscas. If you've wanted to try an artist grade crayon to see the difference between Crayola and an artist grade crayon, I would recommend them. They are beautiful, vivid colors. They don't have the crumbliness like a Crayola crayon does, so you can lay down lots of pretty color, get lots of blending just like you do with a Crayola crayon. So that's what I would recommend. If you want to try high-end crayon, then these Posca Pastels would be a great place to dip your toe in. They're not open stock, but they are cheaper than buying a set of the Caran Neocolor ones. So it would get you into this world for a little less money, and then if you love it, then you can expand out your collection into the Neocolor ones. That's how I would recommend you try these out. So a very fun thing to learn. We learned that Posca has a color system. We learned that these two products will probably work really well side by side together, and that there's a lot of creative possibilities in these pastels, and they are a really cool product. So hopefully this helped you make a decision. Comment below, are you planning on purchasing the Posca Pastels or the Posca Pencils, or are you going to pass on both? I'd love to know what your take is on the Posca products. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot just like I did, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone. Let's get you down, because you don't want to be here. Say bye. Bye. I don't want to be here today. Bye.